The results of the PGA Tour Player Impact Program for 2022, which was first introduced in 2021, are out. The PIP had a budget of $100 million. What are the surprises and takeaways from the 2022 PIP? 25 years old Collin Morikawa came in 11th place in the PIP, and the professional golfer saw the funny side of finishing in this position. Keep watching for details on these. First up, Collin Morikawa cannot help but laugh at the results of PGA Tour PIP. In case you are unaware, the PGA Tour established the Player Impact Program in 2021. According to the plan, the top 10 players who inspire the most enthusiastic interest in the PGA Tour are to get massive monetary incentives. The prize pool rose to $100 million this year, doubling the previous year's $50 million, and up to 20 players received lump sum payments. The Player Impact Program, or PIP, is criticized as a slush fund to keep the top players on the PGA Tour from switching to the LIV Golf League. 5 golfers that won money in the first PIP have already signed up with LIV Golf. Bryson DeChambeau believes the PGA Tour is, quote, petty and juvenile by delaying his PIP payout. Strangely, the program's announcement coincided with many behind-the-scenes discussions about a prospective Saudi Arabia-funded new golf league. Was Jay Monahan, the commissioner of the PGA Tour, attempting to buy golfers' loyalty? Nobody was surprised when Tiger Woods won this year's top prize of $15 million. Rory McIlroy earned $12 million for placing second. This is even though Woods, 46, didn't participate in a complete round of a typical PGA Tour competition. Sure, he smacked it around in 3 majors on one leg, but other players contributed significantly more. Other people have noted that the PIP is effectively a Tiger tax. Hank Haney, who served as Woods' previous coach and has been vocal about everything LIV Golf, thinks Woods deserves every penny. The PIP for the PGA Tour has been criticized for not being merit-based elsewhere. Patrick Cantlay, who collected $2 million this year, has previously claimed that he objected to the change from performance-based compensation. In February, Cantlay stated that he considers himself old school and believes that rewards should be given based on performance. Coincidence is a funny thing, as well as Morikawa's performance last year and his position on the PIP this year. The more things change for Morikawa, the more they remain the same. Poor Collin adopted the moniker of Co-11 in last year. It must be acknowledged that Morikawa's pain was greater last year because, despite placing 11th, he received no reward at all. It's not all bad because his performance this year did secure him $3 million in cash. We don't want to hear any complaints from Collin, as he will soon wed Catherine Zhu. In an interview in February, he said he disagrees that the PIP is the best use of $50 million, but he doesn't have a solution. He said there must be another way, but he honestly doesn't know what it is. However, that sum of money is absurd to pay out. There is no denying that an absurd amount of money is now in professional golf. The method used to calculate the PIP will be explained later in the video. Also, what are the surprises and takeaways from the new $100 million PIP? The results of the most recent Player Impact Program are available. You may be wondering what the PIP is. Why does the PGA Tour distribute $100 million in this way? How did Tiger Woods manage to win yet again? So what is the Player Impact Program? The Player Impact Program on the PGA Tour honors athletes who, in the words of the Tour, create the most positive interest in the PGA Tour. This is how the Tour distributes funds to its most vital participants. The PIP has been a part of the Tour's attention on these professionals who, due to the LIV era, have discovered themselves with more negotiating power. To be distributed among 20 participants this year, the PIP's pool of money was increased from $50 million to $100 million. The 20 professionals were selected using objective measurement criteria across 5 categories. The payouts are staggered, with the winner receiving $15 million and places 16 through 20 receiving a paltry $2 million each. So what are the PIP criteria? You must be a current PGA Tour member, quote, in good standing, who has participated in at least 5 tour events in at least one of the previous 5 seasons to be eligible for the PIP. If you meet that requirement, you are evaluated according to the following standards. First is Nielsen brand exposure, that is, how frequently do you appear on TV. The President's Cup and 3rd and 4th rounds of tour events are included in this measurement of live coverage for linear broadcast, podcast. Here, the objective is cumulative exposure, a cunning reward for a protracted process of putting. Next is Google search data. This is the total search data according to Google. That's a clever motivation to create controversy. The third criterion is media mentions. The program Meltwater monitors media references, or how frequently are players the focus of news stories. The fourth criterion is Q-score. This concerns a player's general awareness among the American public. Younger players typically don't fare as well, as it tends to take some time for this to build. The last criterion is the MVP index. A social media rating takes a player's reach, conversation, and engagement indicators into account. The top 5 in the PIP results are Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, and Jon Rahm. They received payments of $15 million, $12 million, $9 million, $7.5 million, and $6 million, respectively. So, what are the surprises and takeaways? What do we think of the list for this year? 8 conclusions are immediately apparent. First is that Tiger Woods is still the driving force behind the golf industry. He took first place in 4 of the 5 categories except TV time, where he placed 41st due to his sparse playing. Second, Rory McIlroy finished in a comfortable second place, which fits with how important he was to this season's PGA Tour narrative. The only surprise was his social media ranking of 11th, but that one appears to be the least predictable. Next, Jordan Spieth held off Justin Thomas for the number 3 place despite Thomas winning a major and outperforming him on both Nielsen and social media scores, thanks to stronger Q-score and Google numbers. Also, Jon Rahm increased his ranking from number 9 last season to number 5 this year, but it should be noted that he only jumped past LIV defectors Phil Mickelson, Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, and Bubba Watson. Next, Scottie Scheffler's brilliant performance couldn't compensate for his underwhelming online presence. He must be cool with that, I suppose. However, Scheffler and Will Zalatoris might anticipate an increase in their relative scores under the 2023 program, which will do away with the social media category. Also, Xander Schauffele defied the norm by placing 18th, while everyone else in the top 10 also appeared in the top 10 of Google searches, but he rose to number 7 thanks to his strong Nielsen performance. Tournament victories will help you with that. Collin Morikawa missed out on the $3 million he would have made for qualifying by finishing 11th last season. This year, although Morikawa didn't play as well, he still placed 11th. Now that we can see the precise scoring, it's considerably worse. Tony Finau, who placed 10th with .8126, was just 0.610 of a point ahead of Morikawa, who had an overall score of .8120. Finau received $5 million, while Morikawa received $3 million, a huge wage disparity. What changes will be made for the 2023 PIP? 2 metrics will be introduced to replace Q-score and MVP score, MARC General Population Awareness, and MARC Golf Fan Awareness. According to insiders with knowledge of the PGA Tour, it was too difficult to gauge and agree upon social media scores. How are data on an Instagram story, a post, and a TikTok scored? The transition was simpler. MARC will pull a random sample of adult Americans, first general adults and then self-described golf enthusiasts. The survey will be carried out and updated every month. The PIP for 2023 has already begun. It started on October 1st, 2022 and ends on September 30th, 2023. Again, there will be 2 stages to the payout, which will total $100 million. The first 25% will be paid out when Century Tournament of Championships awards are made, and the remaining 75% will be paid out once 3 PIP duties have been fulfilled, which include playing in formal events and giving back to the tour. What was your reaction to finding out that Tiger Woods won the PIP and that Collin Morikawa was in 11th place again? Also, what do you think is the reason for the PIP in the first place? Please let us know in the comment section below, and while you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.